Preview time, Daggy and Danon with you to talk about everything coming up in round 22 of the National Rugby League. A blustery afternoon in Western Sydney as we get into our afternoon show today. How are you, mate?
All right, yourself?
Not bad, not bad. Bit crook earlier in the week, but battling back. Birthday parties and family hijinks and all sorts of stuff. So apologies for no full review show, but I guess a bit of news to talk about. First of all, though, I guess any takeaways from round 21, we saw outstanding performances from some of the top teams.
Um, the I think the saddest news is more will AJ get to that milestone after his season-ending injury?
He's got another year, doesn't he?
But how's Bennett going to play him? That's the problem. And when does he come back? How long are you out for with a ruptured Achilles?
Or 9 months usually, I think it is 9 to 12. So yeah,
Yeah, so he's
deep next year into next year. That's true. That's true.
yeah,
I think
yeah. So that was pretty unfortunate to see.
sad. Uh,
Um, Broncos are gone, which we already mentioned.
I was kicking myself in that game because we'd written them off as gone, and then 1 week back, and we sort of jumped back on. So I was a bit disappointed in that one.
Yeah, oh, I tipped the Bulldogs and then changed it once Crichton was out.
Yeah, I
Um,
was thinking,
so, and then yeah, I really think the Dolphins are the if a team's going to come out of the top eight, I think it's the Dolphins after good positive start again. They just let it slip away. That's a couple of weeks now they've done it, and instead of fighting for a top four spot, they're now battling to stay in the eight.
agree. That said, who outside the eight? Like really, this top eight is pretty ordinary. Honestly, Sharks won't win another game this year. Cowboys, yeah, feel a bit under sufferance, but maybe I'm wrong. Like you're just having Dolphins drop out for Newcastle or someone to squeak in and
Yeah, definitely. Whoever it is, they're only making up the numbers. I think the top four is going to be pretty set in stone within another week or two. It'll be Storm, Panthers, Roosters, and then I guess Bulldogs. I think the Bulldogs probably are best in the next best out of the rest of them.
Bulldogs can be, if everything falls that way, could be that Souths or Parramatta of recent years where they might knock off someone above them.
Yeah,
Can't say. I honestly, after this week, I just sat back and went, Penrith, just complete breathing morals.
yeah.
They've just got Cleary back who decided he was going to have a day out. They get
That's
Edwards
it.
off leading into finals. They'll probably, Fisher's going to have a bit of a break now. They might give Leota a break and then they'll hit like they've done for the last 3 years, 4 years.
And that's it. They're not worried about the minor premiership as long as they finish top two. So they've got 2 wins gap between them and the Roosters. Um, so yeah, it's pretty much it'll be them versus the Roosters, and I don't think Panthers fans would care if they had to travel to the city to play them.
No, I don't think so.
They're guaranteed not to finish fourth, so they won't be playing Melbourne. Win the first game, stay in New South Wales for the final and then the grand final.
Well, after week 2, they've got to go to a metro stadium anyway.
So they'd end up either what at
And
Combank or ANZ.
so it doesn't, it's much of a muchness to them.
Yeah,
I just think they've just, push comes to shove, they've got slightly more clutch and strike than Melbourne to have on the big stage. But that's it.
yeah,
They're two Easts. Yeah, they can score points, but they were very good at setting up Manly on numerous occasions last week. And like I said, Bulldogs. That was their game. That's the game where you get the hot team. Yeah, 09 Parramatta. Yeah, even go back to 05 Tigers. Your Newcastle's last year. Your South before that. You get that game in about this round where they just blow a team away and everyone goes, oh shit, okay, this is where they're actually at. And I think confidence is, you pick up the scraps along the way of the teams that are already dead, and then go in red hot into the finals.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they travel. But yeah, Manly unable to like the Roosters. We've mentioned this before. Once the Roosters kind of get out to a lead, they can go on with it to an extent. Then they just sort of fell apart in that second half. But they had a big enough lead to not have to worry about it.
Pretty much. And I'm just having a quick look back. I'll send GT through the DAG endpoints a few weeks ago there. Yeah, not much else to really talk about. As I said, probably I thought Dolphins were disappointing at the end of the day. Just looking back quickly through. The other news and talking points has been all the contract situations this week. So Stefano's going. We've just found out before the show Blaze Talangi's going, rumoured to be to Penrith, potentially to replace a winger who allegedly does and allegedly doesn't want out of the club, a very good winger. That might be after $1 million at another club that's got a couple of mil to spend. Look, of all the deck chairs that are shuffled, I suppose Parramatta is obviously closest to your heart. You've now lost Matt Arthur in recent days. Ethan Sanders left, Blaze Talangi. Have they got any juniors left?
Oh, they do, but they won't hold them.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's time the board needs to go. If they can't see that they're the issue, they never will.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on the fence with it because he does remind me of like a Bevan French.
Yeah, 100%.
Um,
Right now, I still
who,
don't know. Like, it's easy to be a flash in the pan, but he's not huge. I don't think he's a 5'8". I don't know if he's a fullback long term,
well, that's
Right now,
it.
he's a very good winger.
That's it. He struggles to catch a ball still.
Yeah.
His defense is still poor. Like he's still a kid, so he's got a lot more potential to come. But I think we're in that position. We need to stop paying players on potential. If they want to leave, let them leave. Yeah, it sucks to have him at the club for the last 5, 6 years, how long it's been, and develop him. But I think we offered him 500,000. If he's going to chase money to go elsewhere, so be it.
Yeah.
You can get other centers because at the end of the day, he's not going to be fullback. I never saw a world where Gutho was going to move.
So
Um,
it's Lomax now.
that's it. So it's, if he's going to just chase the money, we'll let him chase it then. Go out and get somebody that's already got 100 games under their belt. No, and you know what they can produce for 500,000
Exactly.
instead of just paying on the potential.
I think the other one, Val Holmes, has been given permission
Well,
as
that's it.
well. Maybe
But
get him for 500. I think he's a little bit past it. He's not prime Val Holmes, but his best spot probably is winger these days. So there's wingers around.
that's it. That's it. So there's people that can fill the gaps. And yeah, it just means we're going to find ourselves in a similar position as yourself very soon, where we're just going to have a lot of money, and let's just hope that they spend it right.
The problem is, who do you now buy without other players now agitating to get out, which allegedly they're not allowed to talk to because they're under contract.
Yeah, I've this whole what is it with Toto? Apparently, it's his manager is shopping him around without Panthers' approval.
Mm. Well, we've just now,
but only to certain clubs.
You sulk for a bit, and then well, it'll be.
That's
You won't want to leave. It'll be. He would have gone to the Tigers and said, "You got $1 million for your winger."
That's it. He's like, I'm going. Luai's going. I want to stay with Luai.
It'd be simple as that. They put us in his ear. Go get your $1 million, mate. We all did.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's what it is. I'm almost to the point where I'd be shocked if he doesn't end up there next year. With all the all the media is, apart from denying it, it's all very much allegedly this or hypothetically that. But they'd have to have a bit inkling, wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. But yeah, it's
especially if Blaze is, which is the rumor, Blaze is going to end up at Penrith.
Well, they're talking Blaze will be the 6th, and again, he's too small to be a 5'8" at the moment.
You've got Dane Laurie there who's similar.
Yeah. Schneider had played well.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Panthers are trying to keep their top heavy players. Why would you go out and sign a guy for 500,000-600,000 when you've already got a perfectly good replacement at half the price?
And you got the McLean boys. You've got blokes that have been exposed already that are doing a decent enough job.
Exactly.
Alamoto.
It just him to the Panthers. It just doesn't make sense considering what the Panthers have been doing.
Yeah, but maybe it does make sense in that they're happy if they get him for 500, free up 150, and just let Tuo go, even though they were denied publicly.
Yeah,
they've allegedly he's on 650.
Yeah,
let him go, almost like for like. Everyone wins.
So yeah,
I still wouldn't fall off my perch if Stefano ends up at Penrith. I think that's where he wanted to go the whole time.
Yep.
He didn't want to go to Melbourne, but he raved about Melbourne. He just wants to go play for the best team. And if
Yeah.
he's through in it, he's going to take 450, 500, somewhere around then, they need to replace Fisher Harris. But I know those bench forwards are going okay, but they're not Fisher Harris.
Yeah, definitely. And to
And
lose,
so, yeah,
Spencer last year, now Fish this year.
exactly.
Yep.
So interesting to see how it all plays out. I haven't read it. I saw this headline about how the NRL were planning to enforce these contracts. But if it's true, we're going to head towards 20 teams. They have to, because this is going to go mental as soon as 30 spots come up for grabs in 2 years' time across 60 spots going to come up if they allegedly bring in 2 new clubs. Everyone's going to think they get money.
I think it's just pushing closer and closer to a trade period.
Yeah. I think they should, they really need to revisit it. We can talk hypothetically one, but revisit it. Say if you make all NRL contracts identical. So it's a standard issue NRL contract, no other bullshit. You play for this club for this term for this money. Like that's the only gaps in the contract.
Yeah.
No fucking whatever waivers and bullshit attached to coaches and this and that. And if you don't like the terms of the deal, don't sign it.
Pretty much.
And then if you do sign
It
it, you're
should be
stuck
that
for
easy.
5
Yeah,
years.
it should be that easy, but it never will be.
100%. But I do think if a 20-team comp is sustainable, they need to make concessions for juniors from a club.
Yeah.
Because if, not heaps, but I think if you're going to put the time and effort into development systems, you actually need to be encouraging these clubs to build their own developments, not go and just pillage Penrith, Wests, and Parramatta every year.
Yeah, definitely.
But what would I know? Anything else from the last few days, or any thoughts on any other?
I'm trying to think. Jack Bird, I think, was also given. He can go look elsewhere.
There's another one, and I can't remember what it was.
Hastings apparently is going to be signed to Leeds.
Yes, and Bateman's going to Warrington.
Sounds like he
forever.
won't come back. Spencer Leniu re-signed. And then the only other big news of the week was the Cobbo situation.
An alleged DV incident, is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. So everyone's tight-lipped on it, which is fair enough, easy to understand. But yeah, he was dropped from this week's team, and I probably don't see him playing again this year.
Assume the no fault comes out, and we could be at 12, 18 months. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. So a bit of a rocky week. Yeah, I guess the top teams march on, and the rest of us all get to play in the mud with the rest of this crap.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Sia Wong's potentially going to market as well. He might be one.
Well, and that's it. It's that time of the year where if they've only got 1 year left, or in some cases 2 years, people are starting to be tapped on the shoulder saying we won't be renewing. So if you can find something, you can leave now.
Exactly, and it's very much. I actually listened to Shane Richardson on the Tigers podcast. Spoke quite well and quite bluntly about it all, and basically said they have the conversation. Look, we don't really want you. You can go to market. Once you go to market, we'll tell everyone you're in market, and that's how they're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
But it's all a process, I suppose.
That's it.
And I suppose it'll keep rolling on, and we'll keep rolling our eyes at it. Round 22 kicks off, though. Speaking of the Tigers, they host the Cowboys at Leichhardt. Last time we were here, it was a demolition job, actually, before they got completely demolished in return. But for the Tigers, Aamolo's back onto the wing. Olam's back. Latu Fainu keeps the 7 spot. Clemmer comes back in to partner Stefano Tucumano up front. Tim Johansson is the late male in, I believe. He'll make his first grade debut of Sione Fainu going out. Talon Silva keeps the 14. Ice stays at 13 for the Cowboys. Tamalolo and Cotter both go out of the side. They welcome in McLean and McIntyre in the front row. Helam Lukey, Nanai McKaylee, the back row there. The bench is Harrison Edwards, Jake Granville, Finufuiaki, and Griffin Neem. Are there any surprises in this one?
No, I think it'll be very much like the Tigers of the last few weeks. It'll be a hot scoring match. They'll be able to put a couple on, but they'll let more in, unfortunately. yeah, it's what do you say? Leichhardt, you're still undefeated at Leichhardt, aren't you?
I don't know. I can't remember. No. Did we play Melbourne there?
Oh, did you?
I think we played
You
Melbourne.
were at halfway
We
through the
we
year, you were
were.
still
I know we were.
undefeated. Yeah.
Um. Anyway,
Yeah, it's getting to that point where it almost feels like that you might have a win around the corner.
I
Whether,
I think we'll win a game. I don't know which one.
yeah, and that's it. And the Cowboys are a type of team that can be upset on their day.
Yeah.
The fact that they're missing two of their starting forwards, like Tamalolo and Cotter, considerable outs. Um, but again, it's just if you guys could put 80 minutes in, you probably win. But it'll probably only be a 60-minute effort, and the Cowboys are one of those sides that can put 3 tries in 20 minutes comfortably.
Yeah, that's what will happen. I reckon it's going to be quite close. 20 to go, and they'll drop a couple of bombs, and it'll end up being 38-26 or something again as I try and get out the wind a little bit for everyone. I'm going to go 13 plus Cowboys. I don't know how do you even line these up. Tom Dearden will probably tear us apart. He'll be man of the match. Val Holmes, now that I've said his name earlier, probably scores 3 tries. We'll go for him first try scorer. I think overs, I don't know what the line is. An overs bet on the line is probably a safe one in this game.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, I pretty much had the same as you. I've actually bought Val in Supercoach this week because of the Tigers lineup. Hoping he scores plenty.
Let's have a look. 49 and a half. I think that gets well covered.
Yeah.
Friday night kicks off over at Go Media Stadium. The Eels, who were particularly poor in that second half last week, sorry, Danon, are unchanged. They take on the Warriors, who welcome back Sean Johnson, which means Chance. Sean Johnson, sorry.
Tamari's out.
Martin's out. Chance is back at 1. Dallin back to the wing. Lauatiti and Graham Telfer are the centres. Looking through this, Tom Harley comes in for Jackson Ford, who has a knee injury. Sort of same again here. I think this will be compelled. Parrots seem to start well. They might even score early on, 6 or 12 points, but the back end's a concern. I'm going to go 13 plus Warriors at home. I think some of these outside backs run a Mark Dallin first try scorer, and potentially a couple there along the way. Perhaps both wingers in a multi is the way to go there. They don't mind rushing in off that wing. The Parramatta defence. Man of the match. Am I going to pick one here? Probably Mitch Barnett. He's going pretty good.
Yeah, I think we're going to get towed up. I'm actually going the forwards. I think the forwards are going to get at least 3 tries between them. Like Fanua Blake, Barnett, near Cora type situation or crossing. Whether they're first, it wouldn't surprise me. But as you said, if they're not going through the middle, they'll just get the ball out to the edge and just go around untouched. But yeah, it'll be 13 plus, and with Chance coming back, he'll probably get man of the match.
True, yeah, 300 plus meters, pumping out of his little peppers there. I would hate to see Warriors though regress back to just Sean Johnson kicking to corners on the last and really stagnating. That'd be my only fear. But see how that pans out. Is that the only Friday game? Have I missed one here? No, we've got Dolphins and the Chooks from Perth. In fact, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unchanged 17 for the Dolphins. Che Fuller's still on the bench there. And Joey Manu's back from a hand injury, which pushes Jennings out of the side.
Well, Jennings is suspended.
Oh, suspended.
How he wasn't sin bin last week for that high shot.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Ashley Klein he's a terrible ref. He's just useless.
It's almost like he's getting worse.
Yeah, and they still class him as the best.
He now panics a lot. Anytime there's half a scuffle.
Yeah.
It's like he really panics, but I wouldn't be shocked if he's the first guy to be a full-time bunker ref. They'll name him the first one that's in the bunker all weekend.
Yeah.
In the next year or two. But anyway, what does it mean here? It means I want to give Dolphins some hope, but I just can't play 60 minutes. More than 60 minutes, unfortunately. I go with the Roosters. I think, look, they fed 24 or 30 points to Man. I think last week there was 5 Manly tries and not a single try assist in the Manly team.
Yeah, Walker got like 4 of them.
Yeah. So that was Keary. So yeah, I think they'll get out of their system. I think they need to really put out a proper performance here. They've racked up some points, but to take on a better defensive side, I want to see that on show here. I'm going to go 1 to 12. Chooks, Teddy has had a phenomenal season. It's actually, dare say he's almost underrated this year, having missed Origin, but God, he's been good. I'm going to go with him out of the match. And Swahili backing up off of one of his breaks to be first try scorer. Why don't we just look in the mirror from last week for that? What are your thoughts?
I actually think they're going to put a score on them after last week's effort. And I can see almost a complete shutout. Yeah, Dolphins only score one or two. Roosters 13 plus. Teddy will be man of the match, and Dom Young first try scorer. I just, as you were saying, the errors they caused the errors that led to the tries. So I can see defense just being a big working point this week in for the Roosters, and they'll try they'll probably have the aim. I know every week you have the aim to not let a try in, but I think they'll be really pushing that defensive side of things. The hammer, it'll probably be his speed that causes it, something you can't exactly defend against. But yeah, they won't keep him to nil, but it'll be awfully close to 24-30 to nil type scoreline.
Well, here's one for you. 3 p.m. Saturday, Titans host the Broncos. Off the back of what happened last week, Des Hasler unchanged. AJ Brimson's the only potential one on an extended bench. Corey Oates comes into the wing for Cobbo. Pia Cora comes back after missing last week's game. Are there any hope, though?
Oh, I'm tipping the Titans 1 to 12. I think they can. Oh, Brisbane are gone. Titans have been gone for a while, but they're still playing with, I guess you could say, some type of purpose. Like they're trying to build towards next year already, where
They're what
the
they're doing.
Broncos
They're
pretty
making
much
teams beat them, and when they're not, they're beating them. Like if
and that's it.
Point they can score those. Like Canberra can score those 2 tries in 5 minutes. All of a sudden, if it's a 12-point game, it becomes a 2-point game, and you never know.
Yeah. And yeah, the fact that their season was pretty much ended last week. They'll be low, and they're for the picking for the Titans.
Who leads away for them?
I think it'll be off the back of Fafita and Firma. It almost feels like they're the regular two. The props do the hard work in the middle, but then they go to the edges and then work off the quick play the balls or the sharp offloads. Because that is one thing the Titans do have is a fair bit of speed. They seem to be one of those good sides that if they can get the offload, they do seem to march a fair way downfield. And it does seem to, Fafita and Firma definitely feel like those type of second rowers that can get those good offloads to the right players at the right time. And that is one thing with the Titans when watching them. Enjoy to watch an attack when they're playing well.
As I watch Built win at $4 at Eagle Farm, and I didn't back it. Anyway, we'll. Anyway, he's had a good season since Origin, or a few good months since Origin. I think Mo's come back in great form from
definitely
Origin outings. But I agree with what you said about Crow. The other bloke that's been in great form and complimenting Jaden Campbell. I know Campbell's reaping the rewards as such, but Kieran Foran's been fantastic again. So I'll go with him out of the match. First try scorer, Cam Pereira, leading the way for the competition. So no shock there. I just think almost unbackable, basically, is what I can say about Brisbane. And so I'll go that way. I do think that in the tipping comps I'm trailing in, I'll check out, my little ESPN app and might tip whoever's got the least percentage just in an attempt to catch up there at times, but we'll see. Storm host the Dragons, 5:30 at home on Saturday, with Munster coming into the starting side, Wishart to the bench. Sloan back in at fullback. Couchman is outbanned. Toby, that is, because Ryan's on the bench, and Blake Laurie comes into the interchange. What do I say here? 13 plus Melbourne. I think this will be the same game as we watched last week. There'll be times for the best players, and the best players will carve them up.
Melbourne will pretty much just try and just outdo what Penrith did last week. And to be fair, they might in attack.
Yeah.
Whether they can, minimize the Dragons' points is that's been our thing with the Storm this year. We've said all along that their attack's good, but they do seem to be leaking more points than a traditional Storm side. So it'll be just interesting to see how many points the Dragons do get on the board. But yeah, 13 plus, Pappy, Warbrick, Anderson, probably Munster all over, and then, chuck in a forward or two.
Yeah, exactly. He has been good. Nick Howarth, Jack Howarth, these last few weeks.
He has been.
Got
He's
something
been.
to pay.
He was a nice little pickup on Supercoach a few weeks back. He's
Yeah,
done all right.
yeah. So he's got yeah, he's going to be strong, fast. Just bit of X factor about him. But I'm going to go Ryan Papenhuyzen as the man of the match here. He's not quite as explosive as he used to be. He's missing that extra step. I think there was a couple of times there was a half a break that he, 18 months ago, then no one would have got near him. But he's still a bloody good fullback, and I think he'll be in the right spot a lot of the time here. So I'm putting him down for a double, a man of the match in a 13 plus effort. Sharks and Bunnies at PointsBet is the main event Saturday. Will Kennedy comes back at fullback. Mulatalo out with a knee injury. Sam Stone Street onto the wing. Royce Hunt also comes back in. No Tom Hayes. Cam Murray's back from his origin confrontation there, which pushes Tallis Duncan out. And Fletcher Myers comes onto the wing for Johnston, as we mentioned. Any other changes? Richie Kenner's back in the side. What do you do?
If Latrell was back, I would have tipped South.
Yeah.
The fact he's not there is the only reason why I'm going Sharks here. But it's not with confidence. Kennedy back is obviously a big plus for them. Trindle did play very well last week, in a losing effort, but I don't know what's happened, because it can't be the Nico thing, because they were blaming Nico when he was in the side and they were losing. Well, he's not there now.
He's just not very good.
But why? They started so well.
Not very good, but I think they'll revved
It's
up.
sort of like what South did last year. Yeah, like South started the year on fire last year and then just fell away. Now, it's Sharks' turns this year.
This comp's closer together than it's ever been. I just think form's so important. Like, everyone still go, oh, Broncos are a top 4 team. Rabbitohs are a top 4 team. What's going on? Sharks are a top 4 team. What's going on? Well, they're not. But the proof's in the pudding. They're not. The only teams you can say are top 4 teams are Melbourne and Penrith.
But yeah, pretty much.
They're all basically the same team, give or take a couple of superstars here and there. And it's who gets the best out of them.
That's it. If you're 5% off, which and that, because that's the thing, it's not like the Sharks are really getting blown out of the water. They're just losing. I still
think their forwards are playing really well.
Yeah, it's just it's they're 5% off every week, and that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tip them. So they'll hold on to that top 4 spot for another week with the Bulldogs right on their tail. But yeah, it's not with confidence.
I agree. I agree. If Latrell plays, I tip Souths. I have zero confidence in this game. I'll tip whoever's the least backed again on the tipping app and leave it at that. Jack White and man of the match, just because they've copped a bit of flack those halves the last few weeks. I'm also Walker, but maybe him man of the match. First try, we'll go with Tane Milne. Cam Murray big in, Colin Tanya big in, and that matches up really well to what the Sharks have there.
Well, just on your favourites, the Titans are 28% tipped. Broncos are 72.
Easy tip to make.
Sharks 91, South 9.
Less easy to make, but I'll probably do it anyway. Sunday at Bluebet, hey? What's with Penrith just getting a month of 2:00 games, by the way? It's really weird.
No idea.
Isaiah Ayongi makes his first grade debut at fullback. Luai Cleary in the halves for Penrith. No Fisher, Harris, Lindsay Smith starts. Matt Eisenhuth comes in for the bench. Still look a bit thin, but they keep smacking everyone. Hastings is out. Crossland to 7. Jaden Brayley starts at hooker. I think he's on the way out as well up there, isn't he? Eventually.
Well, there's talk that Arthur's going to sign with them, and then they're going to get Matt Arthur. So Brad's going to be an assistant coach, and yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Dylan Lucas goes back to centres, obviously, with no Best and Elliott into the back row. Look, I think Penrith still do the job. I think they're now into finals warm-up mode, and that should be enough to get the job done here. Still look very thin in that back line, but so does I suppose so does the Knights now. Probably even a month ago, you'd be a little bit more excited about this game. I'll go 1-12 Penrith, but a safe 1-12. Just getting the job done, going through the motions. But Cleary's there. He'll kick him around again. He'll touch a ball 3 times a set, and he'll be man of the match. It's been a big week for him, so why doesn't Bizza score first?
Oh, I think they're going to put an absolute score on them. It's their last afternoon game at Penrith Stadium until the redevelopment, with the rest of their games being, I believe, Thursday and Friday night games, or they might have one Saturday afternoon one. But yeah, it's their definite last Sunday game.
I think they're Thursday.
Yeah, they're about to go into all primetime television prior to the final.
Yeah.
So if they've got the Saturday game, what doesn't Channel 9 show the late Saturday game? So that'll be them if they're on a Saturday.
They start picking up the Saturdays.
Yeah, so I think they're going to put an absolute score on them. They might hit 50. Knights have got, you don't say they've got nothing to play for. Like, they're sitting 1 win outside the 8, but this will be their official red pen after Penrith just put them to the sword.
Yeah. The next red pen comes out at 4:00 after Bulldogs host the Raiders, who welcome back Crichton and the Fox on the wing there. Sam Hughes also back, actually. Did he play last week?
Don't believe so.
Oh, anyway, he's there. Obviously, Skelton drops out.
Yeah.
And Blake Wilson drop out. Raiders unchanged. From the team that did the job last week. Corey Horsburgh is on an extended bench. Congratulations, Josh Papali, who plays his 300th game for the club. What are your thoughts?
Unders, Bulldogs. Just we said the unders last week, and they would have blown that out of the water after scoring the 41 points. I don't see them doing that to the Raiders. But it'll be one of those comfortable but not extremely comfortable wins for the Bulldogs that they're just known for at the moment. Raiders will probably score, 2, maybe 3. So it just comes down to, will the Bulldogs get 3 or 4 or potentially 5 just to see how comfortable that win is. But yeah, I've got they're definitely scoring more points. The only positive for the Raiders, we've also tipped the Dolphins and Dragons to lose, so they'll still be in that hunt for the 8th spot.
And probably a fair chance of the 8th spot, really, thinking about it now. That said, they won't win this. I think that was a bit of a real awakening for the Bulldogs, having their attack wake up there. And against a team that can lead points out back, I'm going to go with them 13+. I think they keep going. Big ends, plenty of throwing the ball around. Toby Sexton's short kicking game is perfect to take on these blokes, actually, turning around some of those front rowers. So let's go with another Josh Curran try off a grubber for first try. I think it's been the last 2 weeks, or was it 2 weeks ago he did it? Anyway, in the game, as always. And man of the match, well, I told everyone about Connor Tracy a year ago, but he really showed what he can do last Saturday. Let's hope he racks up another ton for the Supercoach fans out there. That's it. That us all covered?
All good, mate.
Someone awake.
Quick.
You need to go and tend to some children?
Yeah. Yeah, he's crying in the background. I'll go get him in a sec.
All right. Thanks for your time, buddy. Thanks everyone for listening.
All good, mate.
A whirlwind preview there. We'll be back to the pub, back with a review next week. So looking forward to all that. Check out PC. If you're a racing fan, check out PCTC Tipping Comps. The Spring Racing Carnival tips kick off this week. So check all of that out. We'll be back next week. See you guys.